Good morning, friends. Myself, Dr. Chandrasekhar Bangarwal, Professor, Department of Kriya Sharir, SRM, State Ayurvedic College, Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh. Today, we will talk about the muscle physiology, which is also known as myology. Regarding myology, the syllabus expected from the BMS first year student mentioned in the CCIM syllabus is that comparison of the physiology of skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and smooth muscles. We also will study physiology of the muscular contraction. Contraction of muscle is the main function of the muscle through which many physiological functions are performed inside the body. What is myology? The scientific study of the muscle is called myology. How muscle works? Muscles contribute to the homeostasis by producing body movements, moving substances throughout the body, and producing heat to maintain normal body temperature. Now these muscles are made up of the muscle tissues. Muscle tissue consists of fibers that are specialized for contraction, and through contraction it provides motion, maintenance of posture, and heat production and protection. How many types of muscles are there? There are three types of muscles in the body: skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and smooth muscles. Now, skeletal muscle tissue is attached to the bones and is striated, and its action is voluntary. Cardiac muscle tissue forms most of the heart wall and is striated, and its action is involuntary. Smooth muscle tissue is found in the walls of the hollow internal structure like blood vessels and viscera. Viscera is the visceral organs situated inside the body, deeply situated, and is non-striated, and the action is involuntary. Let us see one by one. Skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscle tissue is so named because most skeletal muscles moves bones of the skeleton. Skeletal muscle tissue is striated. Alternating light and dark bands are seen when the tissue is examined with the microscope. Skeletal muscle tissue works mainly in a voluntary manner. Its activities can be consciously controlled by the neurons that are part of the somatic division of the nervous system. Here you must remember there are two functional divisions of the nervous system: somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. The functions of the somatic nervous system are voluntary, and functions of the autonomic nervous system are involuntary in nature. Regarding the skeletal muscles, their functions are controlled by the somatic division of the nervous system. Now, most skeletal muscles are also controlled subconsciously to some extent. For example, diaphragm continue to alternately contract and relax without conscious control so that we don't stop breathing. Also, you do not need to consciously think about the contracting skeletal muscles that maintain your posture or stabilizing body position. Now, types of skeletal muscle fibers. On the basis of their structure and function, skeletal muscle fibers are classified as slow oxidative, fast oxidative glycolytic, and fast glycolytic fibers. Most skeletal muscles contain mixture of all three fiber types. Their proportions vary with the special action of the muscle. The motor unit of the muscle are recruited in the following manner. First, slow oxidative fibers then fast oxidative glycolytic fibers, and finally fast glycolytic fibers. You should here remember, we can remember that on the basis of the presence of proteins in the muscles, there are some red muscles and some whitish muscles. On the basis of that, skeletal muscles are also classified. Cardiac muscle tissue. Only the myocardium of the heart contains cardiac muscle tissue, which forms most of the heart wall. Cardiac muscle is also stated, but its action is involuntary. The alternating contraction and relaxation of the heart is not consciously controlled. Rather, heart has pacemaker that initiate each contraction. This built-in rhythm is termed autorhythmicity. Several hormones and neurotransmitter can adjust heart rate by speeding or slowing pacemaker. Smooth muscle tissue. Smooth muscle tissue is located in the wall of the hollow internal structures such as blood vessels, airways in the lung, and most organs in the abdominopelvic cavity. It is also found in the skin attached to the hair follicles. Under microscope, this tissue lacks of the striations of the skeletal and cardiac muscle tissue. For this reason, it looks non-striated, which is why it is referred to as the smooth. Action of smooth muscle is usually involuntary, and some smooth muscle tissue, such as the muscle that propel food through your GI tract, has autorhythmicity. Both the cardiac and smooth muscles are regulated by neurons that are part of the autonomic nervous system and by hormones released by the endocrine glands. Now, functions of the muscles. What are the functions of muscle? Through sustained contraction or alternating contraction and relaxations, muscle tissues have four key functions. 1. Producing body movement. Number 2. Stabilizing body position. Number 3. Storing and moving substances within the body. And number 4. Generating heat. Producing body movement. Movement of whole body such as walking and running, and localized movements such as grasping a pencil, nodding head, rely on the integrated functioning of the bones, joints, and skeletal muscles. Stabilizing body position. Skeletal muscle contraction stabilizes joint and help maintain body position such as standing or sitting. Postural muscles contract continuously when you are awake. For example, sustained contraction of your neck muscles hold your head upright. Storing and moving substances within the body. Storage is accomplished by sustained contraction of ring-like bands of the smooth muscles called sphincters, which prevent outflow of the content of hollow organs. Temporary storage of food in the stomach or urine in the urinary bladder is possible because smooth muscle sphincters close off outlet of these organs. Cardiac muscle contractions of heart pump blood through the blood vessels of the body. Contraction and relaxation of the smooth muscles in the wall of the blood vessel help adjust blood vessels diameter and thus regulate the rate of blood flow. Smooth muscle contraction also move the food and substances such as the bile and enzyme through the gastrointestinal tract, push gametes like sperm and oocyte through the passageway of the reproductive system, and propel urine through the urinary system. Skeletal muscle contraction promote the flow of lymph and aid the return of the lymph to the blood and to the heart. Generating heat. As muscular tissue contract, it produces heat, a process known as thermogenesis. Much of the heat generated by muscle is used to maintain normal body temperature. Involuntary contraction of skeletal muscles, known as shivering, can increase the rate of heat production. Properties of the muscle tissue. Muscle tissues have four special properties: electrical excitability, number 2 contractility, number 3 extensibility, and number 4 elasticity. Electrical excitability means property of responding to stimuli by producing action potentials. Contractility is the ability to generate tension to do the work. Extensibility is the ability to be extended. Elasticity is the ability to return to the original shape after contraction or extension. Now, structure of the skeletal muscles. Each of the skeletal muscle is a separate organ composed of cells called muscle fibers. Fascia is the sheet of fibrous connective tissue that support and cover the muscles. There are two layers of the fascia: superficial fascia and deep fascia. The three layers of the connective tissue protect and strengthen skeletal muscle tissue: outer epimysium, middle perimysium, inner endomysium. All three layers may extend beyond a muscle fiber to form a tendon, a cord-like dense regular connective tissue composed of collagen fibers that attaches muscles to the bone. When connective tissue element extend as a broad and flat layer, it is called as aponeurosis. The length of the muscle fiber varies from 10 centimeters to 30 centimeters, depends on location and function. The human growth hormone and testosterone hormone participate in the muscle development. Hypertrophy is an enlargement of the muscle fiber, and hyperplasia is increase in the muscle fibers. That means in hypertrophy there is no increase in the muscle fiber, just whatever muscle fiber is there that get enlarged. Fibrosis is replacement of the muscle fibers by fibrous scar tissue. We should remember skeletal muscles can regenerate only to a limited extent. Sarcolemma is plasma membrane of the muscle cell. Thousands of the invaginations are present on the sarcolemma called T-tubules. Within the sarcolemma is sarcoplasm, the cytoplasm of the muscle fiber. Sarcoplasm contains glycogen. It also contains red colored protein called myoglobin, which releases oxygen needed by the mitochondria for ATP production. A fluid-filled sac called sarcoplasmic reticulum encircles myofibrils. What are the myofibrils? In sarcoplasm, small thread-like structures are seen called myofibrils, which are contractile organelle of the skeletal muscle. Within myofibrils, smaller structures called filaments are present. There are two types of the filaments: thin filament and thick filament. These two types of filaments are arranged in a compartments called sarcomers, which is contractile unit of the myofibril. Z disc is also present here, which separate one sarcomere from the next one. Myofibrils have three types of the proteins: contractile protein, which generate force during contraction; regulatory protein, which helps switch the contraction process on and off; structural proteins, which keep the thick and thin filaments in a proper alignment, give myofibril elasticity and extensibility. Now, contractile proteins are myosin and actin, which is the main component of thick and thin filament. Myosin act as a motor portion in all three types of muscle tissues. In skeletal tissues, 300 molecules of the myosin forms a single thick filament. Main component of the thin filament is actin. Troponin and tropomyosin are regulatory proteins that are also present in the thin filament. Motion results from the alternating contraction and relaxation of the muscles, which constitutes 40 to 50% of the total body weight. Prime function of the muscle is changing chemical energy into mechanical energy to perform work. Contraction of the muscle. Muscle contraction occurs because myosin heads attaches to and walk along with the thin filament at both ends of the sarcomers, progressively pulling the thin filament towards M line. As a result, the thin filament slide inward and meet at the center of sarcomer. As the thin filaments slide inward, the Z disc comes closer together and the sarcomer shorten. However, length of the thick and thin filament do not change. Shortening of the sarcomers causes shortening of the whole muscle fiber, which in turn leads to the shortening of the entire muscle. At the onset of contraction, the sarcoplasmic reticulum releases calcium ion into cytosol. There, they bind to the troponin and cause troponin-tropomyosin complexes to move away from the myosin binding site on the actin. Once the binding sites are free, the contraction cycle means the repeating sequence of the event that causes filaments to slide is started. Contraction cycle consists of the 4 steps. ATP hydrolysis. The myosin head includes on the ATP binding site an ATPase, an enzyme that hydrolyzes ATP into ADP and phosphate group. Remember that ATP is adenosine triphosphate and ADP is adenosine diphosphate, in which the phosphate group was added. This hydrolysis reaction reorients and energizes the myosin head. ADP and phosphate groups are still attached to the myosin head. Second, attachment of the myosin to actin to form cross bridge. The energized myosin head attaches to the myosin binding site on actin and releases the previously hydrolyzed phosphate group. When the myosin head attached to the actin during the contraction, they are referred to as the cross bridges. Power stroke. After cross bridge forms, the power stroke occurs. During power stroke, the site of cross bridge when ADP is still bound open. As a result, the cross bridge rotates and releases the ADP. The cross bridge generates a force as it rotates toward the center of sarcomer, sliding the thin filament towards M line. Fourth is detachment of the myosin from the actin. At the end of power stroke, the cross bridge remains firmly attached to the actin until it binds to the another molecule of ATP. As the ATP binds to ATP binding site on the myosin head detaches from the actin. In contraction of muscle, an increase in the calcium concentration in the cytosol starts filament sliding, whereas a decreased turn of the sliding process. That means a decreased level of calcium turns off the sliding process. The muscle action potential propagating into the T-tube system causes opening of calcium release channels in the sarcoplasmic reticulum membrane. Calcium ion diffuses from the sarcoplasmic reticulum into the cytosol and combine with troponin. This binding causes the troponin-tropomyosin complex to move away from the myosin binding site on actin. Calcium active transport pumps continually remove the calcium from the sarcoplasm into the sarcoplasmic reticulum. When concentration of calcium ions in the cytosol decreases, the troponin-tropomyosin complexes slide back over and block the myosin binding sites and the muscle fiber relaxes. A muscle fiber develops its greatest tension when there is an optimal zone of overlap between the thick and thin filament. This dependence is length-tension relationship. The neuromuscular junction is the synapse between the somatic motor neuron and a skeletal muscle fiber. The neuromuscular junction includes axon terminal and synaptic end bulb of the motor neuron plus adjacent motor endplate of the muscle fiber sarcolemma. When nerve impulses reaches the synaptic end bulb of the somatic motor neuron, it triggers exocytosis of the synaptic vesicles, which releases acetylcholine. Acetylcholine diffuses across the synaptic cleft and bind to acetylcholine receptors, initiating a muscle action potential. Acetylcholinesterase is the quickly break down acetylcholine into component parts. Now, muscle contractions are classified as isotonic contraction and isometric contractions. In isotonic contractions, the tension or force of the contraction developed by the muscle remains constant while length of the muscle changes. The isotonic contractions are used for the body movements and moving objects. Types of the isotonic contractions are concentric and eccentric. In concentric isotonic contraction, if the tension generated is great enough to overcome resistance of the object to be moved, the muscle shortens and pulls on another structure such as the tendons, produce movement and to reduce angle of joint. In eccentric isotonic contraction, the length of the muscle increases during contraction. In isometric contraction, the tension generated not enough to exceed the resistance of the object to be moved and muscle does not change its length. Now, muscle metabolism. Muscle fibers have three sources for ATP production. Number one is creatine, number two is anaerobic cellular respiration, and number three is aerobic cellular respiration. Remember that aerobic means utilizing oxygen and anaerobic means without the use of the utilizing oxygen. In first step, creatine kinase catalyzes the transfer of high energy phosphate group from creatine phosphate to ADP to form new ATP molecules. Means phosphate group and ADP get combined together to form ATP molecule. Together, creatine phosphate and ATP provide enough energy for muscles to contract maximally for about 15 seconds. Now, in second reaction, anaerobic reaction, glucose is converted to pyruvic acid in the reaction of the glycolysis, which yield 2 ATPs without using oxygen. Such an anaerobic cellular respiration can provide enough energy for 30 to 40 seconds of maximum muscle activity. Muscular activity that lasts longer than half the minute depends on the aerobic cellular respiration, where mitochondrial reaction that required oxygen to produce ATP. Muscle metabolism. The inability of the muscle to contract forcefully after prolonged activity is called muscular fatigue. In other words, when our muscular cells do not accept any of the order from the motor nervous system, do not respond to any impulse from the motor nervous system, is called fatigue. Elevated oxygen use after exercise is called recovery oxygen uptake. Now control of the muscle tension. A motor neuron and the muscle fibers it stimulate form a motor unit. A single motor unit may contain as few as 2 or as many as 3000 muscle fibers. Recruitment is the process of increasing the number of active motor units. A twitch contraction is a brief contraction of the muscle fibers in a motor unit in response to single action potential. Continued involuntary activation of the small number of motor units produce muscle tone, which is essential for the maintaining posture. In other words, the skeletal muscle exhibit muscle tone or a tension, a small amount of tautness or tension in the muscle due to weak involuntary contraction of its motor units. Skeletal muscle contracts only after it is activated by acetylcholine released by the nerve impulses in its motor neuron. Hence, muscle tone is established by the neurons in the brain and spinal cord that excite the muscles' motor neurons. When the motor neurons serving a skeletal muscles are damaged or cut, muscle becomes flaccid, a state of limpness in which the muscle tone is lost. Hypotonia refers to the decrease or lost muscle tone. Such muscles are said to be flaccid. Flaccid muscles are loose and appear flattened rather than rounded. Now, hypertonia. What is hypertonia? Hypertonia is referred to the increased muscle tone. Hypertonia expressed in two ways, spasticity and rigidity. Spasticity is characterized by the increased muscle tone, which is also called as stiffness, which is associated with increase in tendon reflex and pathological reflexes. Rigidity refers to the increased muscle tone in which the reflexes are not affected. Now, spasm is one of the abdominal muscular contraction. Spasm is one of abnormal muscular contraction, sudden involuntary contraction of a single muscle in large group of muscle. A painful spasmodic contraction is known as the cramp. The tremor is rhythmic and involuntary, purposeless contractions that produce shaking movements. This was about the myology. Thank you very much. I am sure that after understanding the myology, you can read this again and again. You can think about it and make it sure that you understood myology. If you understood myology, then it will be easy for you to understand Mamsa Dhatu, which is described in the different texts of the Ayurveda. To understand Mamsa Dhatu, knowledge of the myology is very much helpful. So here we complete the 2 points of the syllabus. Number 1 is the 3 types of the muscular tissues or muscles, and number 2, how contraction of muscle takes place. Just go through it. Have a good day. Thank you very much.